Right, Nathan. The first time I thought I'd be talking to you about a fight, I thought it was going to be about VIP's very own Kane Gardner. It was the fight that we were all speaking about, and no, as good a fight as that is, this is probably a better fight that's been made for you personally, because it's going to be in Eddie's back garden. Not sure of the date yet, but against a real young hot prospect in Dalton Smith.
Ever seen Nathan Farrell had accepted the fight and he said the deal wasn't good enough. So then I just got on and said, I'm ready. Been ready since my last fight. I haven't been out the gym. So just been tagging Eddie and tried to get the Gardner fight in. Was trying to get the Gardner fight, but Steve Wood said to me, he's not going to put the Gardner fight on when he's got his own lads that need fighting. And then when I seen the Nathan Farrell fight wasn't happening, thought I fancy my chances in that fight, so just thought to tag him in.
You have been busy on social media. You've like I say, you've been tagging everyone in, showing that you're ready, showing that you've stayed in the gym, and luckily it's paid off for you, mate, because the talk about it coming one of the early ones, it's probably going to be at the end of July.
25th of July, I think it is. Yeah, we're just waiting for Eddie to get back to Steve Woods about the details, about the money situation, see what they're offering. It's not going to take peanuts, but it's in the middle of a pandemic, so I'll be reasonable. I've got 2 kids to feed.
He's a genuine prospect. I mean, he's a former GB kid. I know a little bit about him. I interviewed him at his last fight when he fought that Benson Wawidi or something, who I thought was a little bit of an unusual fight for him because he had a massive winning record. I think he was 10-3 at the time. I think only 2 fights prior to that, he just fought that Philip Bowles for the Commonwealth title. I'm thinking, are they throwing him in the deep end? Because he's trained by his dad, isn't he? Grant Smith. So I thought his dad must be trying to punish him or something, but I was wrong because he stopped him in the 4th round, and I think he had him down 4 times in the 4 rounds as well. What's that?
His record looked all right, you know what I mean, but if he fought on his record, I'm not saying I've fought anyone, but I'm coming ready.
No, listen, you've proved now, you've had some good fights. I mean, the fight with Ben Fields, even though you were on the wrong end of this decision, which both me and your manager thought you'd won, it was a great fight and it was a good, hard fight. A fight that I think you learned a lot from. Am I right? Or?
Also, wasn't even 60% in that fight, It was one of those fights, just took it, and then it is what it is. I thought to win the fight. Everyone thought to win the fight. It was just on me from the first bell. You know what I mean? It was just that's what he done, what he had to do. You know what I mean? But I landed. He was on the inside. He was just non-stop for 6 rounds. It was a hard fight.
Yeah, a hard fight and a good fight, like you say. Arguably, again, it's one of those that sticks out in mind when people talk about good fights on VIP shows. That was one of them. That was one of those that I'll always remember and thoroughly enjoy. But like you said, I'm not knocking Ben. He's been on the wrong end of a few bad decisions himself. So when he got a little bit of luck there and got the decision, I can't complain about it. You know what I mean? But I know it'll upset you. But you bounced back from it. I think on the Jolly Boys, you had a cracking performance where you stopped a kid in the 2nd round, and then a very dominant performance against Michael Mooney.
That kid who was stopped on the Jolly Boys, he went on and had a few wins, and he beat that. Is it Eubank's son?
What's his name again?
I remember his name,
I'll tell you 1 second. I remember him. He was new on the scene. I think he'd only had a couple of fights when he fought you, hadn't he? Stu Greener.
Yeah, that was his name. Yeah, but he's had a few. The kid after me was 8-0.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, he's had 2 wins since then, mate. Yeah. He's a good kid again, like Nathaniel Wilson. I think it must have been. I think 10 fights, won 8, and then another kid, Tyler Davis, 7-0. So yeah, so that puts that into. But again, that kid comes to have a fight, and I think when someone comes to have a fight with you, it leaves you with openings, doesn't it?
That's what it's about, Lee. I'm in it to fight, I'm here, and this fight happens, mate. I'm coming. I'm going to be ready mentally and physically for this fight. I'm coming. I'm coming to win.
Yeah,
I don't
no,
picking them up to be this big next thing. That's irrelevant in my eyes. Means I've got 2 kids to feed. This is a win-win situation for me, and I'm coming. So I hope to.
you've been screaming for these fights for probably the last 3 or 4 fights now. You've wanted something to get your teeth stuck into, like you say. You wanted the Kane Gardner fight. Kane wanted the fight, but he's just had a little child as well. So I think this just fell in your lap, mate, and a great opportunity because this
Last
kid.
fight on my last fight when I boxed that, can't even remember his name, but when I boxed him, mate, I thought I broke my hands in the 2nd round. That's why I just coasted through the 6th round. I would have had that kid out there. But I thought you should have seen my hands. They were like 2 footballs after,
I did see him, didn't I? I interviewed you afterwards and you showed me your hands and it was well swollen.
But in the fight in the back of my head, when I felt my hands go, I thought I've got a 10-rounder, and I was meant to be fighting Gardner on the 6th of June for the central area. So I thought I'll just coach through this because I didn't want to bladder my hands. I would have had that kid out of there.
Yeah. I think looking at your record, people won't think of you as a puncher. But I remember speaking to you now coach, but he wasn't coaching professionals when you turned over, was he? But Steve Harkin, you're back with him now, and he told me you can bang.
I can bang. You could ask Terry and George as well. Anyone on the Liverpool boxing scene, ask anyone. I can punch you.
No, well, like I say, but his record is looking really good. Like I say, 5 fights, 4 KOs. Very good performance last time out. Like I say, I only got to see a little bit of it. It was shown, I think, on Facebook Live, wasn't it?
Well, I've seen a little bit of him. I haven't really looked into it much. Fight's a fight at the end of the day. I know he's been on GB and he's had a good time.
Well, he first came on the scene for me because he fought Danny Wright in the ABA semi-finals back in 2016. And I believe it was a great fight, but I've not seen the fight. I've seen the final, but I've not seen the semi-final. And I believe it was a top fight, and Danny Wright speaks highly of him. So obviously he must be good because,
being on the amateur scene, but this is not the amateur scene no more. You can have all the talent. Have you got the art? When the fight gets hard, because I'm telling you, this fight's going to be hard for both.
Do we know what it's going to be? Is it going to be 8 rounds? Because
I'm just waiting for Eddie to get back to Steve on the details of the fight. The money situation.
Would you prefer even the long rounds? Because they were talking about all these fights being at least 10 rounders. So would a 10 rounder suit you?
I was fighting at 10 rounds in my next fight, so I was looking to fight at 10 rounds in my next fight. So whether it's 8, 10 rounds, I'm not interested.
Do you think that might benefit you as well because you're slightly more experienced, slightly more seasoned as a professional?
I don't know, mate. We're still both early in our career. It's a risk in it for both of us, but it's more of a risk for him than it is for me. This is a big platform for me to kickstart my.
Without a doubt, you beat him, and suddenly everyone's going to be talking about you, mate, because everyone's talking about young Dalton Smith now. His dad's doing wonders with his fighters. They've got both Edward brothers there, haven't they? They've got Lee McGregor there. They've got some real talent in that gym, and they all say he's supposed to be the best. So I'm not trying to scare you or anything, mate. You know what I mean? But you jumped at the chance, didn't you?
Fight to fight, Lee. A fight to fight. At the end of the day, it's a fight. I'm not scared of getting in the ring and fighting him.
Well, how are you finding out your new gym? Because I've seen some pictures. It's absolutely. It's the work they've done on that place. It's amazing, isn't it?
Big conservative built on the back on the ramping. On the getting them to ice baths and that put on the top and all that. Wouldn't be a boss. Yeah. I don't. It's not yet. It's a boss gym. It's where
have you got any new teammates there? Because you're the first pro, but they were talking about a couple of others joining you. Is that happening yet?
This little Ethan Brown, he was a good amateur from Gemini, and Sean Arkwright, another good amateur from the Gemini, and Andy Colloon's been coming in. No, Andy.
Oh yeah. Chico.
Yeah, I think he's been getting in with us, so there's a few,
No.
No matter who you train with.
No, it does. But it helps. It does make it easier having, a few other guys around there because you all push one another along, don't you?
of course, but I don't need pushing, Lee. I push
No.
myself. I push myself hard. Just come out. I've done 2 sessions today.
Yeah,
Just
well, like I say, it's a great fight for you because you win, and suddenly people are going to be talking about Nathan Bennett in a very positive light, mate.
The situation, and it's going to be a good fight, Lee. I'm telling you, it's a 50-50 fight.
I don't think any of the fights that Eddie's going to be putting on are going to be dull. I mean, I thought the first fight I was going to be talking about, it's not been confirmed yet, but it looks like it's going to be confirmed in the next few weeks, is Jack Cullen against Jason Quigley. Just spoke to him a few days ago. That sounds to be an exciting fight, and this is on a par with it, mate.
This is going to be a good fight, Lee. 50-50 fight right down, and I'm coming to win. So as long as the deal's okay, you know, I don't expect to produce these. You know, we're in the middle of a pandemic, but I want paying-wise. I've got 2 kids to feed. You know what I mean? I'm not going to take people.
But you know something? It's also what this leads to as well. You know, because you're both young pros. This is what we've been, well, what I've been speaking about on a lot of these Zoom interviews that we've been doing, is it's pushing fighters to take a risk with their careers. It's pushing fighters that instead of fighting those experienced journeymen, those foreign imports, it's making the prospects fight one another to get that opportunity to fight for the title. And I think it's only going to benefit boxing.
This is a win-win, like I said before. Like, this is a win-win situation for me. You know, it's a big platform, Sky Sports, up Eddie Hearn's back garden. You know, it's only going to happen 4 times, isn't it? Because it's only going on for 4 weeks. You know, so it's an event in itself. It's a once in a lifetime.
To get on it, like you say, it's a cracking break for you. And obviously, the views that these are going to get, these shows, because they're going to be the first boxing shows. I mean, we're all gagging to watch some fights, aren't we? And that's why he's making sure the fights he's putting on are 50-50 fights. I mean, like I say, you've got the experience as a professional. I think, like I say, 5 fights. He's got, this is going to be your 11th fight. Sorry, you broke up, mate.
I should be 10-0.
Yes, yeah. Well, listen, I'm not disputing that. No. Keep breaking up, mate.
Okay, now.
Yeah. So what were you saying?
I mean, I should be 10-0. I shouldn't have lost that fight against Brentfield. Everyone knew I shouldn't have lost that fight. You know, so this one
is that not a good thing to a certain degree? Because early on in your career, it doesn't mean anything, does it? But this fight might not have happened. You know, they've seen that loss on the record, and they've gone, "Yeah, we'll jump at that." No, your sound keeps going, mate.
You're okay now?
Yeah, just keep close to it, mate.
I think that's what's most probably got me the fight, you know, with that one level. But they most probably haven't seen the fight that I lost, and you know, most probably thinking, "Oh, we got beat," but I never got beat, did I? You know what I mean? It was an absolute war.
Like I said, I ain't knocking it, but both me and Steve Wood, your manager, were both sat ringside. I must admit, I didn't see the first 3 rounds, but I believe they were yours anyway. He had a great 4th round, didn't he? But you finished strong as well. So, you know, realistically, as you said, you felt you won 4 rounds to 2, didn't you?
I thought I won 4 rounds. I thought the 5th could have been a draw. I thought I won the first 3. He won the 4th. I thought the 5th was a draw, and I won the 6th. I was landing the cleaner, harder punches on him. It was just non-stop action, at least from the beginning of the fight to the end of the fight.
It wasn't the fight? It wasn't the last fight of the night, though, was it? When we
top of the bill, wasn't it?
Yeah, I know it was. It was, like you say, it was a great fight, and one that I'll always remember fondly. But like I say, this potentially could be even better.
But can he fight at a pace like that for the rounds? Because I can.
Don't know. We'll find out, won't we?
That's it.
I spoke to him. I went down when Charlie Edwards was going to fight Marcel Braithwaite. I went down to their gym in Sheffield. Great gym, and he turned up, like saying, you know, he's trained by his dad, and everyone spoke highly of him, and everyone else I've spoke to spoke highly of him, and he's a really nice kid, like I say. You know, obviously showing some power there, but might be a little bit too soon for him.
Really, definitely, but you know, he was respectful enough, you know, to come on and say he took the fight. You know, not many people want to take the fight, so you know, I've got nothing against them. You know, this is just my path and an opportunity for me. There's no bad blood there between me and him. You know what I mean?
Was this because wasn't there a mistake? Wasn't your name mentioned? And it was actually Kieran Farrell that was supposed to fight him, and your name was mentioned. And then when that fell through, how did it come about?
Tom Farrell's name that got mentioned for it, wasn't it?
Oh, Tom Farrell. Yeah, I knew there was some miscommunication.
Tom Farrell didn't know nothing about it, but it was meant to be Nathan Farrell. But I seen Kieran Farrell put on that the money, and that was shite or something. But what you'd expect in the middle of a pandemic, but I'm not going to take shite money. You know, I won't pay him. But
but you got to remember, you got to look at the bigger picture, haven't you? And like you say, you know, this will elevate you. You know, because I think in BoxRec, I know BoxRec doesn't mean too much, but you split between you're just above, and then you've got Adam Haig, and then you've got Dalton, who's just below Adam Haig. So if you can win this fight, like you say, it's going to elevate you quite a few places up there and get you those opportunities for the titles in 2021.
You say it's not about the money, but I need paying as well, but I don't need Brewsties that I'm reasonable, you know what I mean? I'm not going to expect we're in the middle of the pandemic, but I won't pay him, you know what I mean? Of course.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a fight that's warrants it, doesn't it? You know what I mean? You've got a good proven record as a professional. He's got a great proven record as an amateur. Like I say, tipped by a lot of people to go a long way. And no one wants to get in with him for nothing. You know what I mean? It'd be crazy, wouldn't it?
Like that Kieran Farrell was saying, that the money was crap. I don't know what they got offered, you know what I mean? But I know in my head what I want, you know what I mean? So I'm just waiting for them to come back. But, you know, it is what it is. But I'm taking the fight, Lee, no matter what.
Yeah, no, listen, I think it's a great fight for you, mate, because it's you know, it's a great stepping stone. You win this, and suddenly people are talking about Nathan Bennett. So I'm excited, mate. I'm excited because, like I say, this is the first definite confirmed fight. Like I say, all it's got to be is, like I say, a date. But Steve did tell me it was going to be the end of July. So fingers crossed that all comes through. You're happy, he's happy, and we'll put on a great show.
Yeah, I can't wait. Looking forward to it.
Imagine the people that are going to be watching that, mate, though.
Can't wait.
I mean, I'm hoping they were doing with the football, you know. I hope they put some crowd noise in there, you know, like canned crowd noise, just to make the atmosphere there, because it's going to be sad if you.
Left spar, won't it? Pumped up spar, but yeah.
Keep breaking up, mate. Keep breaking up.
It's going to be like a pumped up spar, isn't it?
Well, it's always going to be strange, but we don't know how it's going to all organise. But Eddie's he's a right showman, isn't he? So if anyone's going to put this show on and make it work, he's it, and he's proving it by making this fight because, like I say, not a lot of people want to take these fights on. You jumped at the chance, and I'm really chuffed for you, mate. I just think this is going to be a real breakout fight for you, mate.
Thanks, Lee.
Nathan, take care. Hopefully, when all this calms down, I'll be able to catch up with you and we can get a proper interview and see how training's going.
And Lee, thanks, mate. Appreciate the call.
Say hello to Steve Harkin, mate. Take care. Mate. See you on. Bye.
For all boxing info, news and latest interviews, amateur and pro, across the north, click and subscribe. VIP Boxing Promotions. Also, Twitter, Instagram and Facebook.